to half of the time. Because in the same breath, I went from being like working on a project with him to sort of publicly sucking on me, and DJ Khaled for being on the radio too much. Okay, I'm not sure why we are the target of your choice that you made that night. And yeah, I accept what you are going through, and I just go and continue working on my own thing. So I think in his rant he basically said like Drake was appearing on the radio too much.
Yeah, that was the infamous rant, right? When he was on stage and talked about the DJ Khaled, everybody, and
yeah,
he said they were getting radio plays too. I think at that time his album wasn't doing so well, so
yeah.
that had a big toll on him.
2016.
Yes.
I mean, I think like Kanye has this moment, right? I mean, I think Kanye has this moment that Kanye looks like someone that needs like a manager to basically like, speak for him at times. I mean, someone that basically like he tells what he wants to say, and then the person has to think about it for him for a while before he actually says it.
Yeah, I agree.
Had the moment with Taylor Swift. I mean, we can remember the moment. And even down the timeline, he also had this moment where he basically went on Twitter and he basically like teared into a lot of people. I mean, he's done that a couple of times already. So, yeah, you guys think Kanye needs a handler?
Yeah, I think so. I think he does. I think it needs.
Why would he need a handler?
I mean, someone that like
he doesn't. With all that he's doing, he's still very relevant. I mean,
yeah,
I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows his game.
No, I don't really think he deliberately wants to hurt people sometimes with what he says. And sometimes if you're patient, you could understand where he's coming from or like what he's trying to say. But it's just how it comes out.
Do you think maybe like, I mean, if you say that
also with the comments about his visit to Trump and the slavery comments.
Okay. I mean, I kind of understand what he's saying at that point. I understand to a certain extent.
I don't think it's anything to understand. I think it's outright bullshit that he was saying there.
I don't know if it's the same comment that we are talking about, but I mean,
I was referring to the one he was talking about when he visited Trump.
I mean, for Trump though, like, okay, there's some bullshit in it, but also I think he was talking about like freedom. Like, okay, as Black people, we shouldn't just, or the African Americans shouldn't just support one party because that's what they are told to support. So like there should be freedom to be a Democratic Party or be a Republican. Like I think that was what I was trying to say.
But this is a different topic. But if you quit talk about all of this and then come up with that kind of silly statement he made about slavery, I think it was just.
But that was the slavery one wasn't when he met Trump. I think it was when he went to TMZ's office.
I don't know, but I think it's around that time, possibly.
Yeah, when he said slavery was a choice.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I think this guy just knows what he's doing. He's playing on people's emotions.
I don't really think so, though.
I don't think so. I think like he has a mental like issue, right? That
I think that statement would be so dismissive of everything and just be like, it's for publicity. I don't really think it does.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing, in my opinion. He goes against the Black community, right? Make some silly comments, and then the racist people are happy, the KKKs and the rest. And then he comes back and sings about Jesus Lord, for the Black people. And then they buy his music, so. And
in a way, it's playing the public though.
Exactly. I think he's just a businessman who knows how to sell with controversy.
Okay.
Yeah, he just wants to be relevant as well.
Yeah, but
attention, bro.
If you're relevant, if you want to be relevant and you want to be, I don't know if the word sellout is right here, or stupid.
Or making stupid decisions.
Exactly. Or making stupid comments.
Basically, this comes like off the back. I mean, up to this point, like in 2017, Drake releases a new album, right? And then still features Kanye West, which is like, oh, I mean, like, okay, so everything is still fine. We're still good. I mean, the energy is still, not so swinging to the left. And then in 2018, I think Drake has his first beef with, he had his beef with Pusha T. I mean, we wouldn't go deep into the beef, but I mean, there's no way you want to talk about Kanye and Drake without involving Pusha T, because this guy pushes the beef to another level, right? I mean, maybe the main part of the beef is basically around Pusha T's statement. But before that, Drake took some jabs at Pusha T, and on a track that was actually produced by Kanye West. But also Kanye West has like Pusha T on his Good Music record label. And then months after, Pusha T decided to reply to the diss by releasing a song called Infrared. This song was actually produced by Kanye West as well. And in the song, I mean, this was the first time that, it was heard on the airwaves that Drake was using ghostwriters. In the rap community, it's usually like frowned against to use ghostwriters. Do you think it's cool to use ghostwriters?
Well, quickly, I think the rumor was already out. I think Meek Mill already called it out around that time as well, right? And yeah. And the whole beef also was with Lil Wayne and Pusha, and then Drake, being a lawyer to Lil Wayne, took it up because Weezy doesn't really care. Using ghostwriters. I mean, if you are a producer like Puffy, Dr. Dre, Kanye, I think it's okay. But if you say you're an MC like Hov, Nas, Biggie, man, I don't think it's cool to have a ghostwriter, because then when you're telling me you did these, your stories, I mean, I know, yes, it's fiction sometimes, but I want it to be believable. Then I cannot believe that that's your story. And then I just think, oh, okay, that's the story of another person, but it's coming out from you. But when it gets to a point when you're as big as Drake, I guess you cannot do so much alone anyways, right? You probably need help.
So are you saying that every big artist like Drake uses a ghostwriter?
Who is bigger than Drake?
50% use the ghostwriter. Would you say Eminem used the ghostwriter? Would you say Jay-Z uses a ghostwriter?
Okay. Also, we could say they could be in a studio, right, when he's rhyming and somebody says, maybe change this bar to this and that. And the person might get a credit on the song as well, right? So is it ghostwriting?
That is not really ghostwriting. That is also like producing to a certain extent.
All right, but that's also what Drake got as well, right? He got like a hook or like a melody or like a little sample.
Is this why he's being called out for using ghostwriters?
Yeah, with the Quentin guy made a little sample, and then even Drake changed it, like, but still the same melody in a way, but changed like some of the lyrics. And, I mean, if it's so.
Because I mean, like, I think that part is like production, right? So like a producer could say, hey, you know what? Don't pronounce this word like this. Pronounce it like this. Mm-hmm. Or like you could cut this part out of the lyric, or maybe you could change the part of the lyric. I think this is like very much like a producer. I mean, it's not really proper ghostwriting. Although, like in the timeline, it's also said like Kanye wrote some songs for Drake, Drake wrote some songs for Kanye. I don't know if this falls into the bucket of ghostwriting.
It said co-written, so they probably did it together, like a duet, right?
If Mila was just basically changing a part of the song, then it should have been co-written as well.
But because he's not like a producer or a rapper, I think he's like a songwriter. Maybe that's why it flew that way.
Okay. OJ, what do you think?
I mean, for me, these days,
I think it's fine. So yeah, you should it's fine to be a ghostwriter, to have a ghostwriter as an R&B artist. Like a Davido can have a ghostwriter, a Celine Dion can have a ghostwriter. R. Kelly is a ghostwriter to a couple of artists. But why is it not cool for rappers to have a ghostwriter?
Okay, you've rephrased the question. Yeah, it's because in rap, you want to tell your stories, you want to tell relatable stuff. I think this is why it's expected, and you also want to be, you want to own your thing. That's how you get props. I think, and rap has always been about, capabilities, and if your capability stems from someone else's more of someone else's input, then you don't have bragging rights. You should be making R&B. But I mean, for people like us who evolved, I've also changed my ideology to see rap or music in general as an art, and an art would mean that you take something from somewhere and then you make it really nice and people like it.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. And so in 2000, so basically, I think after Infrared came out, Drake basically got angry. I mean, he kind of got angry and he was not really happy that Kanye West would produce the track. And this was one of the first parts where Kanye West and Drake had issues. And then Drake basically went back with a real response to Pusha T. And he basically mentioned some things around Pusha T's fiance. And then this was like a setup, when you have the alley-oop kind of setup for one of the most craziest diss ever that was made. And this was the story of Adidon, where a lot of things came out with Drake, things that nobody, people didn't really know except for few people like Kanye West. And then in this song, Pusha T was basically talking about Drake's son, and the baby mama that nobody knew about. And before we go into the breakdown of that, did you guys see the cover of the song?
Mm-hmm.
The album art of the song. What do you think about it?
It was Drake doing blackface here.
It was very, very crazy to me. When I saw it, it felt like a clown. But yeah. So, what do you think about this track?
Man, that song is crazy because first of all, it broke down Drake, from Drake's own story as well, because I think he's from a broken home. So he said, yeah, you're angry or don't want to take care of your son because your father neglected you as well. So I'm going to touch you in the places that hurt, your family, your dad and your mom. And then after treating all that, I'm going to come down to revealing the secrets that you never wanted to tell everyone, and tell them about your baby mama is a former adult film star, and then I'm going to release the name of your child and tell them why don't you want to tell the world? Are you not proud of the child you have? Nah. Nah. Nobody, nah. He should have done that, but Drake started it. And from the beginning, I think Pusha wanted this. So that's why he was giving those jobs even in infrared, like you're using the ghostwriter. I think he wanted the response. So he was poking and poking, and immediately Drake came back with a response because he was hot at that time after doing back to back against McMill, so he felt untouchable. Came back with a response, and then mentioned Pusha's fiance, which is out of line, and then boom, blows up.
You mentioned, do you involve family in this kind of stuff?
I don't think there's rules of engagement, to be honest. We cannot say, okay, now we're dissing, but hey, don't say this and don't say that. But I think like if you have some form of respect, maybe leave families aside so it doesn't get physical. Maybe just leave it on rap alone. But he mentioned Pusha's fiance first, so he did it, he started it, and so it's off. So that's why Pusha had to go harder.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, I think in all it's very, very low if people start going this way, all in the name of saying things to each other. It's just my opinion. I think when people get too emotional or too angered, maybe not emotional in the case, then they really look out for the worst things, to just use, and sometimes it's outrightly not appropriate,
I mean, there was also something about like Drake's response to Infrared. Basically, he also took jabs at Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's now a bit hypocritical that he also claims that Kanye West was the one who really revealed the secret because he told Kanye West about his son. That why would Kanye West reveal this to Pusha T? And then Pusha T uses it against him. My question is, if you know that Kanye West has this information about you, why did you even diss Kanye West in the first place? Because Pusha T has definitely said it, but it could have also been Kanye.
Maybe it felt like, all right, I'm just treating like whatever you did, but we can keep the secrets to the side and not like go that low. But he shouldn't have just mentioned Pusha T's fiance. That's all I'm saying. He was trying to rhyme and one word and another, and then called her whole name. And
it's always like that in quarrels, right? It's always building up, and someone takes offense for something and pushes the bar higher, and then it gets to a stage where there's a hydrogen bomb and everyone dies.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, Drake did not reply after the story of Adidon, so I guess maybe
waited to hide it. And he kind of said that there were some records. Like he said he had a record that he wanted to reply, but people told him like, hey, don't reply.
People called him and told him, nah.
He has this career and stuff like this. And because of that, he never replied. This is what people said. But in the truth, we don't know if this is true. Even Pusha went on Joe Budden's podcast and said he doesn't think there's any record that maybe this guy just didn't want to respond.
Nah, Pusha wanted to smoke for real, but
Pusha had some more stuff to drop.
Oh yes, release one, I dare you, just one, and I'll go two on you.
And it's very possible that Drake still has some kind of secrets that Pusha was he had, and then Drake just figured out there's no need to continue with this.
But seriously, he cannot play with Pusha. Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And then I think in between these songs, Drake basically releases a song named Kiki, and then basically he was talking about his relationship.
You love me.
And although he never really mentioned Kim Kardashian, and there was this rumor about like Drake, the diss track Drake said he had on Kanye. I think people rumored that the diss track was about like the fact that like he was saying he wanted to end Kanye West. And then the people kind of rumored that it was because he had a relationship with Kim Kardashian, and if he was to release the song, then he was going to end Kanye. And then in between, he releases this song called Kiki. So around June 2018, Kanye West drops the song. I mean, he basically features on the song, and then he says that he's too rich to fight Drake. I mean, kind of said, he never really mentioned Drake, but he was like, I'm too rich to fight you. Calm down, you light skinned. And then, as one,
what album was that?
Okay, the song is No Mistakes. It's off Ye, the Ye album, actually. Yeah. I mean, actually, the good music actually dropped a lot of albums around that time. I think
that was when Nas came out too.
So it was like Daytona, one of the best albums like of that year. I mean, probably the best album of that year. And then some other good music albums dropped around that time.
Yeah.
And so in 2018, in the same spirit of Kanye West, that's like 2018 August, Kanye West went on another rant, basically. Like it was a video, it wasn't really a rant, but basically he was trying to clear the air. He said a lot of things that he never told Pusha about Drake's son and all this kind of things. And he wasn't really happy with Drake basically making a song called Kiki, and was like leading to some kind of rumor, and he wants Drake to clear the air. And also like said some things about like if anything happens to him, that Drake is him or his family, like Drake is to be held responsible. What do you guys think about this, man? Is it like Kanye West being scared? I mean, he said a lot of things in the raps, basically.
I think was this not the period where he also dropped on the album Ye, right?
Yeah.
And Ye was basically about how he's struggling also with bipolar. I mean, I was once very harsh critic of this guy, and then when I learned about this struggle, I also kind of toned down a bit, because I've read about and seen, for instance, in renditions, what this can do to someone, so, or what this can mean when it triggers, so sometimes, just sometimes.
Okay. So in 2018, for the rest of 2018, Kanye was just basically trolling on the internet. It was like to the heights that nobody ever did. He did a lot of tweets. He talked some issue about Drake. He talked a lot about Drake. Talked about like the Quintimilla bar, and he talked about his relationship with Drake. I mean, went a very, very long rant.
That was when Drake also released Scorpion as well, right?
Yeah. And then Drake was also having this interview. He basically went to the shop interview. He and LeBron James, and he said a lot of things about how Drake, Kanye West invited him to the studio and made him release some things about his release date, and then basically planned, he believes that he basically planned his release date around this. Release date of his good music guys around the release as his own release date. And also he said they were supposed to be on a track together, and that the track actually belonged to him, but when he got there he discovered Kanye was recording an album. for himself, and also wanted Drake to be on the album or something like that. And basically, like showing that Kanye was not to be trusted. Do you think this type of attitude from Kanye? I mean, do you think, like, first, can we even believe that this was actually what happened? And do you think this type of attitude from Kanye, I mean, that's any chance of him being like innocent in this whole topsy-turvy relationship?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, we see what happened this year as well. Yeah, I think Kanye sees Drake as his only competition and wants to walk around at the same time just to have all the publicity as well. So yeah, I think it's not beyond Kanye. In short, what is beyond Kanye?
It's also what I want to mention. I think sometimes there is also the clout thing into all of this.
Exactly.
Wanting internet relevance and to keep building the followership. So I think I would not even give some of the things that I think are probably just done for clout any of my ears, you know.
And I think Drake had to release Scorpion just to clear those allegations, and also about his son. After the news was out, he was like, yeah, I need to respond to this. And then that's why that he was hiding the word from his son and not from the word.
So in 2018, things like basically stepped down a bit, and and I mean Kanye, had his rant. To end the 2018, in 2019, it seemed Kanye was not ranting anymore. And in 2019, Drake would come back to, just say he just said a few words about Kanye. He still showed like he loved Kanye, and said like he wouldn't mind if, he wouldn't like probably work with Kanye anymore, but he wouldn't, he's not also like the kid of before that was like basically looking up to Kanye. And if Kanye brought smoke for him, he was ready for all the smoke, so, and everything kind of seemed to be cool, calm, until 2021, where we kind of find ourselves now that Kanye was like basically having this album, he was basically like promoting his album Donda, and then he basically, like, for some reason kept on stalling the release date, and then the rumor came out that he wanted to release the album on the same day as Drake. And there were a lot of stuff. He even sent like a map. The location of Drake's house on the internet. How crazy do you think this is?
I don't know if that was a secret anyways, because he has like a very big mansion that if you just Google it, it might bring out the address, I guess. So. But yeah, that's also, so it's too much prank, man. But like, okay, Nick Cannon and Kevin Hart, for example, are good friends and they prank on themselves. And then Kevin Hart made a billboard of Nick's phone number, like private phone number. So I don't know, like, to me that's too much. I don't think any of my friends would do that to me. Like, but yeah, it depends on how people play. So it is what it is.
So, and then somehow, some way, the album, the Kanye West album was somewhat released a bit earlier than Kanye West expected from, this is what Kanye West basically said afterwards the album was released. No, sorry, that was, it seems I'm jumping over. So basically, Drake announces his date of, the date he was going to release. And he was heard saying something like all these people that I'm beefing with, 44, 45, they don't change shit for me. Like, my own release date is set in stone. We're still going to release on the same day anyways. And then he released his album release date. And Also, in between, it was rumored that Kanye also said like he was going to release on that same day, shortly after. But somehow, some way, just a week before, I mean, not even on a Friday, because usually we get albums on a Friday. Just a week before, on Sunday, um, Kanye's album just drops from nowhere, and Kanye is on the internet saying, like he didn't, like Universal released his album too early. Do you think this? Do you think this episode makes sense? I mean, like, why would Universal release Kanye's album earlier than he expected? I mean, I know there's so many rumors, but why do I mean, which of them do you think we can believe? Do we believe the one rumor that said like Kanye was waiting for the baby's the verse to be cleared, and once it got cleared, he released the album, or the fact that he actually wanted to release it on the same day as Drake, but somehow Universal just leaked it on the internet? Because there was also a rumor that basically said that Universal released the album on purpose because the two artists were on Universal and they wouldn't want both of them to compete so that they could maximize from the streams. Which of the rumors do we believe?
I
You
mean,
know how I see it? I see it that this was pre-planned. I'm sorry.
me too.
The fact that we are talking about it now is exactly what they wanted.
Exactly. Like, I don't think a big studio like Universal would
Exactly.
leak Kanye's album without Kanye's approval. Like, why would they do that? I mean, if they had released the wrong folder, wrong file or whatnot, I was okay, that's a mistake. But there's no way they would just release like Kanye's project. Like, they knew all these things will happen, like one week
Exactly.
or whatnot. Like,
And the fact that we are talking about it like right now is part of the plan. So whichever ways people are gonna talk about it, you know, people are gonna
Yeah.
it's good for marketing.
mhm.
And so in the CLB, which was eventually released by Drake, Drake takes some shots at Kanye, and he said some stuff. I mean, he dropped some bars like, you know, the fourth level of jealousy is called media. Isn't that an ironic revelation? Give the address to your driver, make it your destination, instead of just the post out of desperation. So I think it was basically maybe he was like referring to the address on the internet. And then also he basically also like talks about you know, Kim Kardashian. In a way, people are kind of hinting at that. So he's like, why does your ex think we're beefing? Is that man all right? That nigga can't even look at me. He fell off twice. So much shit I wanted to say straight to your face because you're so two-faced that I don't know which face. So yeah, that's basically been, I mean, like the diss track from CLB. But I mean, this is like the whole picture of what has happened, like, you know, down the timeline. And a summary, what do you guys think about the whole topsy-turvy relationship, you know, the whole love-hate relationship between Kanye West and Drake so far?
Like, for me, I just feel like there's a lot of respect still and envy, like you said it right, of love and hate. So it wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow they made a song together again. I mean, they want the attention. They enjoy the attention. It makes them relevant. So there's nothing as a bad publicity anymore. So they should go for it. I don't really care about all the bullshit as long as they drop music. That's it.
Nice. OJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I think in the kind of system that the world operates in, where everything is about making more money and more dollars, even if it means trading your personal secrets and space for it, if it brings in money in the end, it justifies it, you know. And even though this could have started like a normal beef, or like a normal, issue people will have with themselves. If it turns out to make money for both of them, I think everyone is happy in the end. The people who get to talk about all of these things, and then the people who make the money out of all of this. I mean, isn't this the whole reason behind reality TV and the rest?
It's all entertainment, bro.
Exactly. So who can deal with it should deal with it. Who cannot can back out. But in the end, money rules.
Yeah. Can we really predict what direction this beef will go? Do we see more damage happening before? Or do you just think both parties will just go to rest?
Nah, I don't think there'll be subliminals here and there. And I think hopefully they're still alive. It comes to a day where they'll make a music together. Who knows? The album might drop.
The time will come, exactly, when they will do it together, and then more people would,
if
can stream.
If Jay can forgive Kanye, and now they did a song together on Donda, now there are rumors that they might do Watch the Throne too. Hey, what's this one with Kanye and Drake? They're not really going at each other like that. It's just you disrespected me here and there, or this or that. And yeah, they come together. And who knows, they might even make a show together. Yeah.
So that is the timeline of Drake versus Kanye. What's last comments do you guys have?
Enjoy the music. Don't support the bullshit.
Totally supported. Seconded, actually.
Yeah. So the words from Big Slim: enjoy the music, don't enjoy the bullshit. I think that's a very good way to end today. Let us have your comments. Let's see your opinion about what you think about the beef. Who you think? Who's your favorite artist? Which album do you prefer, Donda or CLB? Yeah, you could drop it in the comment, share, like it, and subscribe. Thank you.